Last week's much-needed rain has definitely brought in some unwelcome visitors, especially those pesky mosquitoes. But there might be another intruder hopping into town that pet owners should really know about. We are talking about toxic toads. Our Taylor Alanis explains why they can be deadly to your dogs, especially if they get a little too curious.
Dogs by nature are curious creatures. They see something bouncing along. Their natural inclination is to go stalk it, hunt it down, and pick it up.
But if your four-legged friend comes across a toxic toad, it's bad news.
They'll start many times foaming at the mouth, salivating. Sometimes they shake their head because it's so irritating to them.
You see, if a dog eats or even licks the toxic toad, it can go into cardiac arrest and, worst case scenario, death.
The fact that it is so nasty tasting, most dogs spit it out right away.
Veterinarian Dr. Alan Garrett says there are a dozen species of toads that secrete a deadly toxin from their skin.
Obviously, washing the mouth out is important. It prevents further contamination or absorption.
So if your dog's symptoms get worse, head to your local vet. Garrett says the toads are very common along the Gulf Coast, but it's been years since he's seen a case at his clinic. So since there are so many different species, just try to avoid any toads your furry friend may come across.
So when in doubt, assume it's not good.
Taylor Alanis, 3 News.